WADR. Promoting dialogue. It's midday in Dakar and Banjul, 1 p.m. in Abuja. This is West Africa Democracy Radio, broadcasting on 94.9 FM and around the world on WADR.org. Many thanks for staying tuned and welcome to Newslink. Here are the top stories. The Senegalese capital, Dakar, and environs enjoy relative calm after a violent protest Monday by Sonko's supporters. The Nigerian army, in a joint operation, neutralizes nearly 60 insurgents on a shared border with Nigeria. Benin's President Patrice Talon summons ambassadors stationed in various countries for urgent meeting in Cotonou. And notable Nigerian figures outline development priorities as Bola Ahmed Tinubu assumes office.
He spoke about multiple taxation that is going to deal with it. That's what investors want to hear. He spoke about security. If there's insecurity, there can be economic prosperity.
Stay tuned for details of these stories and more.
Here is Abdoullahi Hassan with Newslink.
Many thanks for joining us. Let's begin here in Senegal, where a tense confrontation unfolded on Monday in the capital, Dakar, as numerous protesters engaged in clashes with the police. The unrest erupted when lawmakers were allegedly denied access to the residence of opposition politician Ousmane Sonko, who is facing legal proceedings related to allegations of rape and libel. Responding to the situation, law enforcement resorted to tear gas as they confronted demonstrators who had erected roadblocks along major connecting roads in the capital. The turmoil extended to certain neighborhoods where cars were set ablaze, as seen in images and videos shared on social media platforms. Imo Edit reports.
Monday's unrest in Senegal has been fueled by a series of court cases involving opposition leader Ousmane Sonko. Sonko is a mayor of Ziguinchor in the south, denies any wrongdoing and believes that the charges against him are politically motivated. In response to alleged non-compliance with regulations and disturbance of public order, the Senegalese authorities on Sunday halted the Caravan of Freedom led by Sonko. The gendarmerie intercepted the convoy in Kogel, located approximately 379 kilometers southeast of Dakar, and was safely taken to his residence. During his trial for the alleged rape and death threats at the criminal chamber of the Dakar court, the state public prosecutor requested a 10-year prison sentence for the PASTEF leader. The defense lawyers decided to withdraw from the hearing after their request for dismissal was denied by the court, which resulted in their absence in the subsequent debates and pleadings. Senegal will this week and those ahead, according to analysts, be tested for its political and social myth, beginning with President Macky Sall's political dialogue on May 31 and Ousmane Sonko's trial on June 1. Should he be convicted, the Electoral Code automatically disqualifies him from the 2024 presidential race, a claim he has always championed as a reason behind his legal battle.
A more edit with that report. Nigeria's army said Monday that 55 jihadists, including several high-ranking commandants affiliated with the Islamic State group, were neutralized in a joint operation with Nigeria. The 22-day operation, which ended Sunday, according to the army, targeted an Islamic State West Africa province ISWAP stronghold in Aregi on Nigeria's northeastern border with Niger. 2 soldiers died during the operation, while 3 others sustained injuries. 13 vehicles, 30 motorcycles, and 5 booby-trapped vehicles were destroyed. The Lake Chad region, shared by Nigeria, Niger, Cameroon, and Chad, is a notorious refuge for Boko Haram fighters and splinter group ISWAP. The 4 countries bordering the lake set up a multinational anti-jihadist force in 2015. Niger earlier this month said the army had picked up nearly 1,400 Boko Haram followers who were fleeing into the country following clashes with ISWAP. We cross over now to Benin, where President Patrice Talon has called on his ambassadors serving abroad to gather in the country. In a directive, the president has summoned the diplomats and their deputies to return to Benin by May 29 to partake in a crucial meeting to be chaired by himself. The specific agenda of the meeting has yet to be disclosed. For further details on this development, let's join Sankule Janko.
All diplomats representing Benin abroad are expected to meet President Patrice Talon on May 30. This gathering will take place at the Presidential Palace in the capital Cotonou and is referred to as the Diplomatic Conference by the Beninese authorities. Interestingly, this event occurs a week following the publicized dismissal of Aurelien Agbenonsi, the Beninese Minister of Foreign Affairs. The news of Agbenonsi's removal was initially reported by the Beninese media and later confirmed by Agbenonsi himself through the press. However, the government has not yet issued an official statement regarding his departure. Consequently, there is currently no official information regarding the appointment of a successor to Minister Agbenonsi. According to media sources, the diplomatic conference serves as an opportune moment for Patrice Talon to address the assembled diplomats, share his vision for Benin's foreign policy, and reaffirm the nation's commitment to international cooperation. The event, governance experts say, holds the potential to foster dialogue, strengthen ties, and forge new partnerships that will further elevate Benin's standing on the global stage.
Sankule Janko with that report. Now, the commencement of Bola Ahmed Tinubu's four-year term tenure as Nigeria's president, prominent figures such as Tony Elumelu, chairman of the United Bank for Africa (UBA), and other notable Nigerians are voicing their perspectives on shaping the development agenda for the new administration. Addressing the press at the presidential inauguration at the Eagle Square in Abuja, Nigeria's capital, on Monday, they emphasized crucial priorities such as security, electricity provision, and establishment of a conducive environment for the growth of private enterprises. WADR's Abuja correspondent Usman Omar reports.
Since the announcement of Tinubu as the winner of the February 25 elections, there have been mixed reactions from various sections of Nigeria regarding his ability to lead the country. However, the business and political elites have never doubted the new president's political astuteness. His successful tenure as a two-term governor of Lagos State is often cited as evidence of his leadership qualities. Therefore, shortly after his inauguration, journalists sought opinions from business managers, women leaders, and politicians on the areas President Tinubu should prioritize. Tony Elumelu, chairman of United Bank for Africa (UBA), expressed his views on the matter.
He spoke about multiple taxation that is going to deal with it. That's what investors want to hear. He spoke about security. If there's insecurity, there can be economic prosperity. And most importantly, he spoke about access to electricity, improvement in electric generation, distribution, and transmission. That's what we need. So,
Senator Smart Adeyemi, a prominent representative from north-central Nigeria, emphasized the importance of the president's decision to form a government of national unity. However, Adeyemi also stressed the need for the president not to shy away from investigating those who nearly plunged the country into chaos.
Forming a government of national unity will not be an issue that will obstruct the government finding out what happened in time past. Because some people actually plan to make today impossible. Okay, some people plan for anarchy, but God, in His mercy and the prayer of the masses, those who are under the yoke of pains of the economy, they prayed, and we are here today.
Betta Audu, the national women leader of the ruling All Progressives Congress, also shared her perspective on the matter.
He has given his words that 35% of his cabinet at all levels, including the heads of parastatals, all the way down, would be women. As a man of his words, he's done it before in Lagos State, he'll do it again in Nigeria.
As Nigerians eagerly anticipate the direction of the new administration, the appointment of cabinet members in the coming days, weeks and months will undoubtedly set the tone for the future. For Newslink on West Africa Democracy Radio, Usman Umar reporting from Abuja.
More stories coming up on West Africa Democracy Radio. Newslink continues.
Let's take you to Ghana, where citizens seeking court services can now breathe a sigh of relief as the Judicial Service Staff Association, JUSAC, temporarily suspends its ongoing strike. The suspension followed a constructive meeting with government officials. The union, in a statement Monday, announced a 2-week halt to the strike action, aiming to facilitate dialogue between the concerned parties and expedite the consideration, approval, and disbursement of the new salary adjustment by June 2023. Last week, JUSAC members resorted to the strike as a means to demand the implementation of previously endorsed salary increments, resulting in a significant disruption to judicial processes in the country. WADR's Accra correspondent Etienne Lawson completes the story.
The ongoing strike by the Judicial Service Staff Association of Ghana has brought justice delivery to a standstill in the country for several days. The strike was initiated by the association members who are demanding salary adjustments and other incentives. Following a series of meetings on Monday, May 29, involving the Office of the President, the Ministry of Employment, the National Labour Commission and the leadership of JUSAG, the strike has been suspended. JUSAG President Samuel Afote Otu announced a suspension, highlighting that a Memorandum of Understanding MOU was signed to ensure a sincere and amicable solution to the issue within specific timelines. He, however, retreated that if the government fails to comply with the agreement, the union will resume the strike on June 13.
The ongoing strike is suspended for 2 weeks to pave way for engagement among parties in order to fast-track the consideration, approval, and payment of the new salaries in the month of June 2023. JUSAG and the government representatives therefore signed a memorandum of understanding, commit the parties to sincere and amicable resolution of the issue within timelines given.
In response to the news, Ofosu Asamoah, the Executive Secretary of the National Labour Commission, expressed relief at JUSAG's decision to suspend the industrial action.
What the law knows that you are either on strike or you have called it off. The law further provides that during the period of negotiation, as is going on between them, the ministry and other stakeholders within the 2 weeks they have given to themselves, the law does not permit a party to a negotiating to be on strike, to wear red armband, or to threaten or intimidate any other party with whom they are negotiating. So what I have done is in conformity with the law.
Reporting for Newslink on West Africa Democracy Radio, I am Atiewin Imbila Lawson in Accra.
In Liberia, a 3-day national conference centered around sexual and reproductive health and rights has concluded in the capital, Monrovia, with a resounding appeal to put an end to detrimental cultural practices targeting women and girls. The conference aimed at raising awareness among women regarding the hazards associated with female genital mutilation, FGM, a practice prevalent in rural regions and affecting numerous women and girls. Our Monrovia correspondent Dalton Popper has the rest of the details.
Adorned in a variety of African attire, these women passionately sang during the conclusion of a conference that united over 400 participants to address issues impacting women and girls, with a particular focus on female genital mutilation, FGM. During the ceremony, Vice President Juwe Hawatila acknowledged that despite the national government's efforts to eradicating the practice of FGM, many young girls in remote communities continue to undergo this harmful procedure.
Here in Liberia, all of the work from the Ministry of Health, Gender, and all of the other agencies and our partners have been geared towards a comprehensive investment in gender equality, which is critical, sexual reproductive health and rights.
Dr. Tale Mafogi, the United Nations Special Rapporteur on the Right to Health, emphasizes the importance of accessible human rights and the need to amplify the voices of women without suppression.
The right to health is an inclusive right. It extends not only to appropriate health care, but also to the underlying determinants of health. And some of your amazing campaigns that I've been following throughout the years really speak to why the right to health is such an enabling right.
Representing civil society organizations, Naomi Tule Shilanki expressed the optimism that this front will serve as a pivotal movement in prioritizing women's issues.
While Liberia has made some progress around maternal mortality, girls' education, and improved access to contraception, the pace remains too slow. While the government's current efforts include a reduction in maternal mortality, infant mobility, prevention of sexual and gender-based violence, and teenage pregnancy.
Participants have been urged to amplify their efforts, particularly in rural communities, to advocate for the complete abolition of FGM. For Newslink on West Africa Democracy Radio, I'm Darlington Popper in Monrovia.
You are listening to West Africa Democracy Radio, broadcasting from Dakar, Senegal on 94.9 FM and live on WADR.org. Here's a reminder of our top stories. The Senegalese capital, Dakar, and environs enjoy relative calm after violent protests Monday by Sonko's supporters. The Nigerian army in a joint operation neutralizes nearly 60 insurgents on a shared border with Nigeria. Benin's President Patrice Talon summons ambassadors stationed in various countries for urgent meeting in Cotonou. Notable Nigerian figures outline development priorities as Bola Ahmed Tinubu assumes office. Still ahead, Angelique Kidjo's foundation, Batonga, launches Girls and Women's Empowerment Project in Senegal, plus the Gets interview and sports news. Please stay with us.
West Africa Democracy Radio. It's you speaking.
Remember, we're streaming live on Facebook on WADR.org. Underprivileged and deprived adolescent girls in Senegal have been spotted for a rapid transformation project that aims to protect their rights. Some of these girls, Batonga, a non-governmental organization, says are victims of harmful cultural practices such as early marriage, which impact their potential to fully contribute to society. Legendary Beninese artist and founder of Batonga, Angelique Kidjo, is in Dakar, the Senegalese capital, for the launch of the expansion project in collaboration with MasterCard Foundation. MATC reports that the foundation has reached over 7,300 women and girls, creating nearly 4,000 jobs and employment opportunities.
Batonga, originally the title of a song in Angelique Kidjo's 1992 studio album, was a response to those who think girls don't belong in schools. Decades later, Kidjo founded an NGO in 2006 bearing the same name, which seeks out girls and provides them with an education. First launched in Benin, the organization has transformed thousands of girls through leadership, entrepreneurship, and employability training, paving the way for wider outreach. Angelique Kidjo explains the choice of Senegal beyond her hometown.
The choice of Senegal was obvious because when I started, it was clear for me that I'm going to have to be in all the French-speaking countries before I go to any English-speaking country. Because the needs in the French-speaking countries are huge. And why I told you, is in the southern part. That's where we have the issue of girls that drop out of school and get married.
Batonga's country manager Ida Gay Sadie tells WADR more about the scope of the project, beginning with the rural communities of Kolda and Seju.
We are targeting now to reach 5,000 adolescents and women, 3,000 young women and 2,000 young girls. So this is our target for now, but our aim is to do more, and we just start in Kolda and Seju, but we will increase our presence in Senegal as soon as we have more support.
When asked about the Batonga strategy and its mission to educate the girl child, to empower women and provide safe spaces for victims of sexual and gender-based violence, among others, Sadie says,
the uniqueness of our approach is from the fact we're using the own resources of the community. So when we enter into the community, women's mentors, business coaches, that will be people that will really be implementing the project. So at the end of the day, when it's come the time to exit, there is something that will remain at the community level.
The 5-time Grammy Award winner Angelique Kidjo wraps up the launch of the project today with a concert in Dakar to emphasize the strength of a woman and the possibilities of achieving one's dream through determination.
MATC reporting there.
This is the newspaper review. Stay on top of the news. Get the most important stories with added insight and concise review.
This is the newspaper review.
And today's Press Review takes us to Liberia, where Darlington Popper is standing by with banner headlines from the national dailies.
For this edition of Press Review, we have with us 4 newspapers from Liberia. They are the New Democrat newspaper, the Hot Pepper newspaper, Corruption Watch newspaper, and the Front Page Africa newspaper. We will begin the review process with the New Democrat newspaper with the headline, Tinubu takes over Nigeria, faces divided nation and economic woes. Stay on the front page of this Democrat newspaper. Bouaka calls seditions wicked goats. Former Vice President Joseph Bouaka is quoted as saying this. On the back page of the New Democrat newspaper, 3 Burkinabes drowned in Kavala River. The Crime Service Department of the Liberia National Police Detachment in Zueju, Grand Jide County has confirmed the death of 3 Burkinabes who drowned recently after the boat on which they were sailing capsized at the illegal crossing point on the Kavala River. PUF was in fatal accident. That's the president of Liberia, of outgoing President Charles Coffey. We will take a look at the Hot Pepper newspaper. More discrepancies into Calando's account, court document reveals. On the back page of the Hot Pepper newspaper, CDC frowns at U.S. request for graduation fee, says it's undermines tuition-free policy. The Corruption Watch newspaper is next. Emerging Godfather, Grand Cru County 2024, prioritizes development, human empowerment. On the back page of this paper, Representative Muhammad Bridge Mensa bears master's degree. From the Corruption Watch newspaper, the Front Page Africa newspaper is now our last stop for today's edition of Press Review. On the front page of the Front Page Africa newspaper, depriving the poor, and the paper is asking the question, 5,000 bars of Saudi Arabia rice donated to Liberia unaccounted for. Assessment report raises red flag over dubious reported transfer of rice to Banga. We will take a gist of this story on the front page. A preliminary physical inventory assessment conducted on the huge consignment of rice donated to Liberia by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has implicated the Director General and Deputy Director General for Operation of the National Disaster Management Agency in the reported mysterious transfer of 5,000 bags of the commodity from Monrovia to the hub in Bangabon County. That is how we love to conclude today's edition of Press Review. But before we go, these are the newspapers we actually followed on today's edition. We followed the New Democrat newspaper, the Hot Pepper newspaper, the Corruption Watch newspaper, and the Front Page Africa newspaper was our last stop. Thank you so much for following, and bye-bye.
Indeed, many thanks, Daniel Popper.
Politics,
Analysis on major news,
social matters, and all. This is A Guest.
Welcome to the guest interview, and to this edition, we are taking a closer look at the fast-evolving political situation in Senegal. On Monday, hundreds of security operatives were deployed across Dakar, the capital, to prevent any chaos since opposition leader Ousmane Sonko returned to his residence on Sunday. But this measure met resistance as violent clashes erupted in some neighborhoods between demonstrators and police, resulting in material damage. Although calm has been restored, there is tension ahead of Sonko's June 1 court appearance when he's expecting the final verdict in the alleged rape case filed against him by a beauty salon employee, Adisar. While this is the case, political analysts like Mamadou Chor remark on the fast radicalized manner of protesters and excessive use of force by state security. But with religious leaders ready to facilitate negotiations, Chor hopes for an amicable solution.
Most people are now fearing the chaos. And as you put it right, I mean, both positions are radicalized. Those are in power, they don't want to back up. And those who are supporting Ousmane Sonko, they don't want to, go backwards. So the situation we are in is a very, very frightful situation. But at least there is a hopeful feeling because some facilitators succeeded in going to see the religious leader of the Moorish, which is a very respected figure in Senegal. And then I was listening to them yesterday during the audience with this holy, figure. And Muntaha Mbake, accepted it, to participate actively in some kind of, talk to bring back peace. And he reassured, these facilitators that there is nothing to worry. He will try to be a go-between between both positions. But, as I put it, we are not far from chaos because the radicalization has gone too far.
Well, so tomorrow, May 31, is the date that President Sall has chosen for a political dialogue, which the opposition coalition is divided over. The party belonging to Khalifa Sall, the former mayor of Dakar, accepted to be part of that meeting, But there are those of Yewas Kanwi that still would not participate. But do you think this will be a game changer going forward?
In fact, this dialogue is a very good thing. When you look at most analysis, they will tell you a dialogue without the person we consider as the opposition leader, Usman Sonko, without him is nonsense. I mean, let's be clear. I mean, the best thing we could have done if, beside Macky Sall, there were peaceful people, not driving him, I mean, to retaliate. I think they can, convince, Usman Sonko go and see him and talk to him so that he can accept to come to the dialogue. In the Usman Sonko camp, also, if there is some kind of peaceful people, formerly under Abdoullahi, under Abdou, there were this kind of, peaceful, people in the circle of the president who could, talk to the opposition side and then try to find a solution. But, it's a pity that we do not have that right now. And that's why we are living in this very radical position of both sides.
Mohamed Choi is a Senegalese political analyst. Here now is Santle Janko with Sports Update.
Hello there, warm welcome and thank you for joining us. Defending champion Beirut Club has signed 36-year-old Senegalese ex-international forward Ibrahim Thomas. He's expected to play the FIBA West Super League final in Dubai. The former Senegal international Thomas joined Beirut Club from US Monastery in Tunisian Pro A, where he played this season. Thomas played for the Senegalese senior national team between 2013 and 2018. In football, Africa's representatives at the 2023 FIFA Under-20 World Cup, Gambia, Tunisia and Nigeria will face tricky opponents in the round of 16 following the conclusion of the group phase of the competition, CAF official website has reported. Unbeaten Gambia finished top of Group F to progress to the knockout phase. Will take on Uruguay, who finished second in Group E in the round of 16. Nigeria's Flying Eagles made it to the round of 16 as one of the best third-place teams, but will have a daunting task in the next phase of the competition. The West African Giants have been paired against host Argentina, one of the few teams to complete the group stage with a 100% record, winning all their matches. Meanwhile, Tunisia, who also progressed as one of the best third-place teams, will entertain one of the favorites, Brazil. And that's it for sports. It's back to you.
And that's how we wrap up this edition of Newslink here on West Africa Democracy Radio, broadcasting from Dakar, Senegal. Thank you for listening, and many thanks to our listeners in Gambia via Hot 104.3 FM Banjul, and in Liberia via Alternative Youth Radio 98.9 FM Lofa County, and in Ghana on Royals FM 14.7 Wenchi. Iyaz Bilimu has been on the console, and Mustafa Sek on the social media feed. Do interact with us via social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram at WADR News, on Facebook, West Africa Democracy Radio English Service, and stream live on WADR.org. I'm Abdoullahi Hassan. Good afternoon.
News, talk, music, get it all 24 hours on West Africa Democracy Radio 94.9.